Good morning, all. Just 2 days ago, I gave this a basic maintenance wash. Since then, it's been driven. People have used it. It's accumulated a bunch of pollen and some dust. And there are some fingerprints on the trim and the door handles, and that kind of area. It's not dirty enough to require a full wash. There are options. When it's just lightly dirty and you've recently washed it, like in this case, it's got some dust and pollen on it and a few fingerprints. You can use a quick detailer like this one to safely and quickly clean the car. Now, this is the same stuff I used during that video on why machine waxing is greater than hand waxing. But then I used quite a bit because the car was dirty enough for a wash, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough quick detailer on there to soak into any of the contaminants, dust, dirt, debris, and buffer them. Basically soak into or coat them with polymers so that it would lessen the chances of creating swirls. For a quick detail of a car using this stuff, I'm going to use two different types of towels. You can see them on the windshield there. The blue one is very thick, very plush, and has a lot of fingers in it, just like my wash mitt, which I like using because it gives the dirt and dust and pollen a place to go away from the surface of the car, which also helps reduce the chances of swirls. The yellow one on the right is a standard regular nap microfiber. We're going to be using that for buffing once we use the fuzzy one to wipe off the dirt and pollen. I'm not going to be using nearly as much, and I'm going to be spraying the towel directly instead of on the car, which will control overspray and make sure that I only get the detailer where I want it to go. I'm only going to be doing the hood today and trying to keep my videos under 10 minutes. And I do apologize for that last one, but there are a lot of people who are visual learners and need to actually see the process in order to really understand it and for it to click in them. I am one of those people. I've already done the passenger side of the hood. And what you do is you take your plush microfiber, 4 or 5 spritzes into it, and you wipe in straight lines. You do not whirl the towel. You do not do in circular motions, just in straight lines. That also helps minimize swirling. You also check the face of the towel frequently to make sure that there's not too much dirt building up on it. If there is, you can see I have the towel folded in 4 different ways. If one side starts to get dirty, refold it to a clean side and continue. When the whole towel starts to get dirty, put it in the wash bucket and grab another one. The yellow towel should remain fairly clean since the plush towel has removed all of the dirt. The yellow towel will also prevent us from getting those stains and smears that I showed in the machine waxing video if you don't wipe this stuff off. There is one warning, I guess you could say, about using this quick dealer on glass. You can use it on glass. It says so in the directions. But for best results, the car has to be cool and in the shade, just like with the other turtle wax products. On paint, there's no issues. But on glass, if it's hot, it will streak and make smears and not look as good as it should. So since this is like 5 in the morning, it's fairly cool out, it's in the garage, I'm going to do the glass as well. But I'm only going to show you the driver's side of the hood. According to the label on this thing, this product has two different types of polymers in it. One is a lubricating polymer that soaks into and surrounds any dirt and grit and helps minimize swirling. The other polymer is a protective polymer, which is very similar to what's in their ceramic spray coating. So this stuff does leave a little bit of protection. It will cause water to bead. So if you don't like the effects of water beading on your windshield and your glass, don't use this. Just use a regular glass cleaner in the method I showed before. Give me a few seconds and I'll get started. Okay, here we go. I'm sure you're asking, how can you tell if the car is too dirty for a quick detailer or if it's just a little dirty and a quick detailer is okay? When I did the maintenance wash, the pollen was so thick that at almost any angle, the paint had a yellow tint to it. That's how I knew that there was way too much for a quick detail wipe and a full wash was called for. In this case, you can kind of see the dust on it from certain angles. Any non-detailing type person will not even see it at all. But I'm one of those who is very picky, so I see everything. So, what you do, take your plush towel, take your quick detailer, spray several quick sprays into it. I start at the back of the hood and just lightly wipe towards the front. No pressure. That allows the fibers in the microfiber to stay unmatted and loose and allows them to collect the dust and move them deeper into the towel so you don't cause scratches and swirls. It only takes a few seconds to do. Then while the quick detailer that's on the car is still damp, you take your standard microfiber and lightly buff until the residue from the quick detailer is gone and you're left with a shiny, clean, looks like it was just waxed hood. You may need to flip the towel once in a while to a dry side, and typically that would be the only time you would need to switch your buffing towels, is if they got too damp and weren't picking up the residue of the quick detailer like it was supposed to. This car is not bad. I'm not going to be using much quick detailer, so it's possible I'll only use 2 fuzzy towels to clean the dirt off and maybe 3 standard microfibers to buff it to a shine. And as you can see, with just that, I'm finished. The hood is completely done. And that only took a couple of minutes. Now you go around the rest of the car the exact same way. On the sides, I like going front to back because that's just me. But then once you go section by section, so you concentrate on what you're doing. It does not allow the quick detailer to dry, which makes it a little more difficult to buff off. And that's it. You're done. This whole process, if you take your time, maybe take you 15 minutes on an average car. On this SUV, it's going to take me a little longer because, once again, I've got to get the ladder out to do the roof. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.